Welcome back, everyone. And we have Joyce with us together again. And before we go into this episode, I just want to remind you that bear in mind what I'm discussing here is applicable to children born before and after COVID as well. If you are a parent with a child born between 2019 and 2022, or a child who started primary school during the lockdowns, we need to talk because this is a quiet crisis happening in Malaysia, classrooms that most parents aren't aware of yet. Teachers are calling it the COVID gap. It is not just that kids are a bit behind in reading, it's that their brain wiring for focus, attention, and social interaction was fundamentally disrupted during their most critical window of growth. And if you think this isn't just a phase that they grow out of, the latest research from 2026 says otherwise. This isn't just an observation, it's a data-backed emergency. Let's look at the numbers. In Japan, a massive study of 63,000 infants just published this year found that children born during the pandemic have a 12.8% higher rate of neurodevelopmental abnormalities. The biggest hit? Language. More children than ever are reaching 18 months without saying a single meaningful word. And closer to home, the statistics in Malaysia are even more alarming. In the 2024 and 2025 school session, over 120,000 Standard 1 students, that's nearly 27% of the entire cohort, enter school without mastering basic literacy and numeracy. They can't read and they can't count. Why? Because their brains haven't developed auditory filtering. In a UK study, teachers reported losing 2.4 hours of teaching time every single day just trying to manage children who literally cannot sit still or process instructions because their senses are overwhelmed. This is the part the parents need to understand. New brain imaging studies show that pandemic era stress has actually caused accelerated brain aging in young children. The parts of the brain that handle social emotions and language are thinning faster than they should.
Yeah, so hearing you, Felicia, that's just right. It's almost an example of teaching a child how to run before they can crawl. You just, the foundation is not there, but we just moved on, assuming that it picks up or it's there and it's not important. So this, in my practice as a parent coach, is where I commonly find that ignoring the foundation layer, giving the children the very fundamental that is needed in learning, even I myself, without knowing it, was housework is not related to studies, no need to do. Coloring doesn't relate to studies, no need to do, it's not important. Learning ABC is important, writing ABC is important. So there's a lot of misconception, and I think it's at the end of the day, I have found that going back to basics makes a big difference.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. A lot of parents tell us, my kid is fine, they are just active. Did we hear a lot from the parents?
Very common, okay?
Yeah.
The parents will say, oh, my kid just wants to play, doesn't want to learn. When you say it's time to play, they are never tired. But when you ask them to study, then they say, I'm sleepy.
Yep, this is commonly what we encounter, right, with
Yes.
nowadays children. But we want you to look deeper. Does your child struggle with these red flags? The wait struggle. Can they wait for 2 minutes without a screen? Instruction failure. If you give them a 3-step instruction, like for example, pick up shoes, Put them away and wash your hands. Do they get lost after step 1?
Yes, I remember you saying something about auditory filtering just now, and that's only one part of auditory. Hearing is the very basic thing, but after we hear, it's what do we take and what do we give out? That's the filtering part. But then after that, we go through another process further, which is the processing part. Okay, which information should we process? What does it mean? And go back to the output to say, how should it be done? Is it a response that's required from me? Or is it an action that is needed? And very often, a lot of children, pre-pandemic, during pandemic, and post-pandemic, tend to have auditory processing delay.
Yep, I totally agree with you with that. Yep, this is something maybe, this is a topic maybe we can share in
The future episodes.
yeah,
Yes.
in the future episode.
Yes, because it can be quite deep.
Yeah.
And I've actually had parents who have come back and say the child's behavior changed, not because they did anything miraculous, but just because they understood that there is a delay.
Yep.
And they match it, and the child improves.
Yep. Okay, so for the third red flags that we commonly see is that the social mirror. Whether the child struggle to read your facial expression or make consistent eye contact during a conversation.
Yes, and you know what happens, Felicia? The COVID babies have a lot of eye contact problem.
Yes.
Because parents are working at home, they need to focus. The easiest thing is to keep the child occupied with the device.
Yes.
And when you have a device, even we as adults, when you're watching a movie and someone talks to you, you say, yes, okay. Is there eye contact?
Nope.
So,
yeah.
And sometimes lack of eye contact is commonly diagnosed as
one of the problems, right?
Autistic trait. Okay, sometimes this is one trait that flags out in autism checks, right? That say lack of eye contact. But when you are so focused on something and you get the answer that you need, you don't think eye contact is needed.
Yeah.
So it becomes a habit, right? And the poor kid just get diagnosed no eye contact.
Yeah, labeled as autism.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So if the answer is yes, it is not your fault and it is not their fault. But ignoring it will make it worse. The Ministry of Education is already reacting. They are introducing standardized assessments like the Malaysia Learning Matrix in 2026, specifically to catch these gaps early. As Joyce mentioned, there are simple things that can be done to address certain issues. In our next video, Joyce is going to share with us some resources that she had used with Janet and other families that she has found useful. We look forward for her sharing.
Yes, I believe what is important for us parents is don't wait for the school to tell you there's a problem, because usually when there is that problem spotted by the school, it means that they are already way behind. Let's take action fast, and I do have very simple toolkits which are available online for parents to just spot check if their children are doing fine,
Okay.
without having to raise concerns or wait for people to tell them that they are behind in certain areas. So I look forward to sharing all these solutions in my coming episode. Thanks for giving me that opportunity to do so, Felicia.
Okay, so we shall see what Joyce is going to share with us in the next podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.